Hi, people. We'll give it another couple of minutes for people to find me. Hi, Kay and Joanne and Connie Clavette and my sister Kathy. Welcome. Donna. We're getting there. People are getting on. Hi, Ronnie. Welcome. And there's Stephanie. Welcome and hello. I'll get my notes out here because I always forget something. All right, I'll wait one more minute and then we'll get the show on the road. Okay. It's nice out, so I'm sure people are outside enjoying it after the many days of raining we've had. It's gorgeous out. I just came in from taking a walk with Pearl. Okay, so let's get started. This is the current hostess code, so if you'd like to place an online order, this is the host code to use if your order is less than $150. So welcome, everybody, to Wednesday night's stamping class. My name is Corinne Sandin, for those of you that may not know it. I'm located here in Lewiston, Maine, United States. I've been a demonstrator for a long time. As a matter of fact, next week is my anniversary of joining Stampin' Up. So I hope you all had a wonderful day. Anybody do any creating today? I got card kits ready for people that are in my In Color Club. And then I got new glasses, which I was really amazed at how good the TV looked. I guess I needed them for a while. Yeah, Connie did some beautiful creating. She shared her pictures with me. They were gorgeous. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. We're just getting ready to get started. So tonight I am creating two unique fold cards. One of them will be a step up from last week's. So let me get those ready. These two catalogs will be going live in about 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from today, but I'm not too good with dates. So if you do not have a demonstrator and you live local, I'll be happy to get these catalogs to you. We can meet or whatever works best for you. If you're not local and you don't have a demonstrator but you'd like the catalogs, just send me a private message and I'll be happy to get those in the mail for you. And I see a couple more people have joined us. Here's Donna and Patsy. Welcome. So I think that's about it for housekeeping. So the two projects we're going to make is this card here, which was similar to last week's card. It holds two gift cards. As you can see, I have one here. Then you pull out this one, and I have another one there. So I'm featuring some of the Christmas products that are in the annual catalog. And then this one was a new fold for me, and I liked it. Look at that. It's kind of a Z type. A little bit different from our Z fold. So that was kind of fun for me to be able to do that as well. So we're going to start right here with this, and I have everything already ready to load up onto my business page sometime tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow afternoon. So for this one, this card is very, very similar to last week's card. This card base is 5.5 by 11. We're going to do some scoring. And then we have a couple of designer series paper I wanted you to see. This is one of the papers that is currently on sale, which will be ending at the end of the month. And then I punched these trees out using this beautiful, elegant Evergreen Boarder Punch. It made this. Isn't that pretty? Then I have some ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to use your blends to color it. So, let me move this one aside. Get my scoreboard out here. Alright, so we're going to put the 11-inch side up here. And let me see how this works. Remember, let me grab a dryer sheet. Use dryer sheet. I always have some in my room for this. And also, once in a while, when you have an intricate die, it does help with cutting it out. Okay, so the first score mark is 1 1/4. We're doing this on the 11-inch side. 4 inches. And then 6 3/4. So just in case you want them again, 1 1/4, 4, 6 3/4. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Grab a bone folder here. And we're going to create that Z. So this part here is your standard 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. Then we're going to fold this one back. And then this one forward. So we create these 3 levels. So I have 2 pieces of paper that are exactly the same size, because this upper pocket here doesn't need to go all the way down, because as you can see I created a pocket here. So let me see how I like this alignment first. So think that one, and then that one, and then, yeah, I think I like that. That's how I'm going to do it. So let me get my favorite adhesive out, which is Tombow. I see there's a Lorraine watching us. Welcome, Lorraine. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I try to pause and check them quickly. If not, I always answer them after. And I'm going to put the next piece right here. I love this one. It has the midnight moonlight in it. I love that blue. It's sort of like a denim blue, I call it. I never can remember the exact name. Oh, and I see Cindy's joined us from California. Welcome. If you guys are from out of state, please tell us where you're from. I see Kay's here from, I think, Kay is at North Carolina, South Carolina? I can never remember. Okay, so then this little 1-inch piece is going to go right here. Now this card here is the exact same one as we did last week, remember? And we made a pocket here. The dimensions are exactly the same. The only difference is we're turning it 90 degrees. So I wanted you to see how you can take the same project and turn it into something different. So now we're going to create our pocket. So we want to use some heavy duty tearing tape or whatever heavy tape you happen to have. So I like to use an old gift card or something when I think of it to tear this tape. So this one here, you want to make sure you're putting it on the little piece here, not on that large section. Then we need to turn this over and put a piece right here. Otherwise, that section would flop. Alright, so now we're going to burnish this really well before we start taking off all those pieces, those protective tape. Alright, let me get my pickup tool to take the protective coating off. Now this one. Okay, now let's do this inside one. Okay, burnish this one more time. Get my trash out of the way. So now you can see I have my 3 pockets, just like I did here. I could take this one, slide it in, and then use my yellow bean one right here. So let's make this little pull tab. So what I did is I took a piece of paper that's about 4 1/4 by 3, and then I'm using this trio punch to round the corners. To set it in and line it up with the grooves. Whoops, I didn't get that one very good. Let me put it back in. It is pretty forgiving, believe it or not. And then I have another piece. I just took a piece of scrap. So this piece may be a hair wider than that one. And what I did is I just took a little bit of glue, very lightly, because I don't want it to spread out too far. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Line up my edges. And while that dries, I'll work on the top part. So you can see you have this beautiful decoration here, or the corner rounder, or you can make this cute little oval. Grab a pencil for a quick second. I want to measure where the center is. So about 2 1/8. So if I turn it over, I can see my little mark I made and push it. So that's how I made the pull tab. Then I have a piece of scrap here to stamp my Merry Christmas, which is from this beautiful Evergreen Elegance. And if you buy the two of these together at the same time, you save a little bit of money. 10%. Grab a block. Let me get this out of our way. Don't have to worry too much about getting it straight because we're going to do what I call a bubble cut. Remember those of us that were back in the day, we didn't have all these printing things. We had to draw our own letters for posters. We used to make bubble letters. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that right here. Hold it there for about 10 seconds. Hello, Diane and Anna. I see Pat's joined us. I don't know if I missed anybody else, but welcome, and I'm glad to see you here. All right, so because that's red, I'm sure you've all had experiences. Red requires a lot of pigmentation, so I always let it sit a minute. And I always like to share my organizational tools with you. This is how I store my blends. So let me get the cherry cobbler out. I bought it on Amazon. If you want the link, you can private message me and I'll send it to you. So I grabbed a piece of ribbon. Move these out of the way. So I'm going to color this. You can color your ribbon using blends. This is the light one. I'm going to turn it over just to make sure the back, most of the time you might have to go over the back just a little bit. This is alcohol ink, so it dries very quickly. But you do want to protect your surface. Alright, so now that's drying. We're going to cut out my bubble letter. I'm going to use my snips here. So I'm just creating an edge around my make sure I round these edges a little bit. I don't like them so. All right. Okay, so I'm going to grab my silicone mat. Put some of this wet glue on the back because it gives you a minute or two to make modifications, as I call them. I'm going to set that right there. And I'm going to put some on the back of my, I'm going to just trim up these edges a little bit. Put some wet glue on this as well. I didn't want to put pop-ups because where we would be sliding in and out the sleeve, I thought they would get caught and knocked off. So I'm going to center that. And again, I just used a piece of scrap. So this one is a little different in length than that one, but that's okay. Alright, so let's make sure our card fits in here. Yep. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim these corners versus putting it back in the punch, because sometimes when you have adhesive on something and you put it in your punch, it gets a little angry. It doesn't always like that. I'm not going to trim that. Now you have an area here you could stamp on, or you could stamp on here, or write whatever you choose. So that fits nice. So let's bring in, this is a little stiff from coloring it, so I just take a little bit of, okay, so we're going to put this through. Then we're going to grab my second favorite product, which is linen thread. How do you store the blends flat? I just put it on the side, Connie. It's late. When I lay it down, it's like this, so that they're flat. See how they're just on top of each other, but they're flat. I just love it because I can do it by rainbow colors. It'll be interesting, people. Post here how you, if you have blends, how do you store yours? Be interesting to see how different people do it. Okay, so I'm going to take a little piece of linen thread. Let me grab a glue dot too. I have all kinds of birds on my glue dots here. I gotta find one. Oh, there it is. There's one. I'm going to roll it up. And I'm just going to set it right here to help keep my two tails together. Alright, so let's tie a cute little bow here. Looks like I got butterfingers tonight. I'm going to knot it because we all know, Cindy stores hers in the Stampin' Blends organizer. And Lonnie has hers flat in a drawer. So we all have a different method. Okay, I'm going to adjust my loops. That looks good to me. Now adjust my tails. Grab my ribbon scissors so I can trim this up a little bit. So there. So we're going to slide that right in there, and then I'm going to grab this one out of the sample and put that one right there. So if you notice in both of these, whatever the paper was on the sleeve was what I used in the middle. The same with here. Just kind of gives it, use one of the papers. It doesn't necessarily have to be the middle one. But that's the beauty of Stampin' Up, I think. That they've done a good job at making everything coordinate. So your project will look balanced when you do that. So do you like it? That's a cute one, huh? Alright, now we're going to do a really fun fold. Let me bring in the other one, and now bring this back at the end. So, again, I used the same punch. This is from that same stamp set, and this lovely tree is as well. This nice shape here for the words is from Painted Labels die right here. It's nice to bring back some stuff that we've had for a while to use. I need another block for my tree. I'll grab my tree here. I think it's a big one I used. Oh. So there's my tree, and then this stamp here is like for the bottom of your tree. I know I don't always mark my, put the labels on my stamps just because it's easier. So like I told you, all of this information will be on there tomorrow on my Facebook page, but I know that this is 3 3/4 by 11. Then you need your true basic 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then you need 2 pieces of mats. This one I cut off a little bit too short, but I'm going to use it anyways. So you want your mats like 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, 4 1/4. Then we need some of this and our greeting. Check my envelope here. There's my red one. Okay. So let's get started. Again, we need to do just a little bit of scoring. Bring back in my scoreboard. So on the 11-inch side, we're going to score it using your fat tip if you have this scoreboard at 5 and 10. Pretty simple, huh? And again, we're going to do a Z. A different version of the Z again. So grab bone folder here. And then this little tab is going to come back. So let's start right from the beginning. So we want the little tab down. So, oh, I don't have a little piece of designer paper to go across the bottom here. Oh well, that's okay. We'll continue on. So, this piece of designer paper is 3 by 4. So my little mat is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Let me put some. We'll get to see what it looks like without the little piece of designer paper underneath it. All of these papers you're seeing are from the same pack. You get 8 sheets of 6 different designs that are double-sided. Okay, so let's do stamping and then we can do assembling. So here's my piece for inside. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper because I want to see how it stamps. And this is what I do when I don't put my labels on. I just put a mark in the direction so I know the top from the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. Ink it up again. I'm going to put it a little bit close to the bottom. Whoops, make sure this is straight. There we go. Let it sit there just for a minute. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like that double pocket card. It's a great way to put a couple of gift cards in it, or lottery tickets, or money, and it's fun. It's certainly going to be a keeper for me when it comes to the holidays. There we go. Isn't that such a pretty tree? It's just gorgeous, I think. Alright, let me close this up so we don't have a marriage right now. Now I'm going to grab the Balmy Blue and this little underneath. And you want it, I'm going to bring it a little close to me. You want to overlap the tree just a smidgen. You might want to have stamped off too, made it lighter. It doesn't really matter. There we go. I could have gotten a little closer, so I'm going to stamp it twice. There we go. It's hard to see with this camera in my face. Okay, so this one here is going to go on my other mat. This piece here is about 3 by 4 1/4. So this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. All right, so let's attach this so that we have a nice red cherry cobbler frame all the way around. What color green? I used the Evergreen. Evening Evergreen. Remember, people, on the back of your designer paper, there's always the colors that are used in that paper. Okay, so let me put my little trees on. I want to leave a little bit here. You can see probably a good inch so that I can put my linen thread. So I'm going to use my grid sheet here to help me. And then I'm going to cut a little bit of this off right off the bat, and I'll know I have to do some more. So let me put some wet glue behind this. Yes, I like this folder. This was actually a new one for me. I saw it by another demonstrator. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. Actually, I saw a couple of them, so. Okay, so while that dries, because if you ever tried to take, cut it when it's still damp, sometimes it's not too cooperative. Just had my linen thread. My table gets such a mess when I'm doing these lives. There we go. I want to get this on before I put it. Now this one, I'm going to show you my cheating method for those of you that might be new, that haven't watched me before. So I'm going to take a glue dot here. I can get it off my spool. These are the bigger ones, and that's okay. So I'm going to attach that into the glue, the dot. I will trim this in just a minute. Yeah. Should be dry now. It only takes about 10 or 15 seconds. So this is going to get popped up. So let me put some pop-ups. This card here will take at least 70 cents to mail it, because it will not go through your paper cutter for sure. There's too much raised up. Come on. One more. Yeah. Gonna go right there. Then we're gonna take another small piece and tie it. And the reason that I really like doing this is because then I can move my bow wherever I want it. See, it's movable. Okay, those loops are way too big. Let's make sure they're the same size. Just a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Let's get some scissors and trim it up a little bit. Okay, now one more thing. We just need to stamp our words using the Evergreen again. And I'm using this beautiful saying, "If friends like you that make the season so wonderful," from this same stamp set. And I always test drive. So hold it there for about 10 or 15 seconds. Okay. And then I'm doing the other trick I do a lot, many of you know. You just take the same shape and you can cut it in half. Or, in this particular case, let me see if I can bring it up closer so you can see. You could just cut that ridge off and leave your underneath hole. Can you see how there's like a little ridge? You could cut that off. But this time I was going to do my little trick here. Hold that down for about 10 or 15 seconds. Again, just a few drops. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals behind that as well. So if there's something you'd like me to make in a few weeks or something, just put it in the comment field, and if I know how to do it, I'll be happy to do it. I have to do a little research, I can do that too. I want these classes to be beneficial to you. Okay, so we're going to set that right here. Bring back these two pieces. Now remember, the little flap has to be on the front, on the heading up. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put some red glue on the back. I call that the back, but we want to center that as best as we can on this mat. So you should have a good 1/4 inch frame all the way around. Now I'm going to hold that there just for a minute. Then this one, you're only going to put adhesive on this flap. For some reason my glue wants to come out fast. So what you want to do is you want to line these up. So I would recommend that you stand it up. So that they line up. Just put a little pressure there for a few minutes. It could be a punch. And I let it sit just for about 30 seconds or so, people. Long enough for me to clean up my mess so you can see all of the projects. Alright, that looks good. So now I'm going to open it up, and you can see how I got that crazy fold. I'm going to glue this right in here to add a little bit more wow factor. So now I want a nice 1/4 inch white border around this. And we're going to set that there for a minute. Does anybody have any questions that I might be able to answer before we sign off for the night? Well, thank you, Patsy. Yeah, it's a fun fold, isn't it? You got plenty of places, and you could also stand it up too, so you could showcase that as well. So there we go. It doesn't look bad without the little piece of paper there. And then these are our two double gift card holders. Alright, so be watching my Facebook page tomorrow. You will see all the dimensions. I've already uploaded them. I can't remember exactly what time, but they'll be there. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great evening, a good week, and I'll see you right back here next week. I don't remember what I have on the agenda, but if there's something you'd like to see, not for next week, but a couple of weeks out, write it in the comments. All right, everybody, take care now. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.